Hey, this is Matthew, and welcome back to Nerd News Today. And it's an exciting time for me here because I finally have my very first complete wave of AEW figures that I'm going to unbox on the channel. So you guys have seen some reviews here and there of a few AEW figures because I previously looked at the very first one, the ringside collectible, a little bit of the Bubbly Jericho. I looked at the Blood Brothers 2-pack, but in terms of getting the full waves, that has been quite a challenge for me, and I know not just for me, but probably a lot of folks out there who watch this video right now. So I missed out completely on Series 1, and full disclosure, that's because I was expecting to actually get them sent to me by Wicked Cool Toys. But unfortunately, the supply could not meet the demand, and so Wicked Cool Toys was not able to fulfill that for myself. And I foolishly didn't pre-order it from Ringside because I thought, well, I'd probably get it from Wicked Cool Toys. Lesson learned. Don't take those kinds of things for granted even when you're a YouTube reviewer. So I went ahead and pre-ordered Wave 2 from Ringside Collectibles, and I got them, but I decided not to review them because by the time I got them, it was kind of late in the run. People had already done full reviews of them, so I decided just to hold off, keep them packaged for the time being, in fact, and just kind of let them sit. But as luck would have it, I got them fairly quick, and so again, I was going to keep them in package, but then I opened them, and well, this is where our story begins, folks, and it works out for you guys. So here is the Ringside Collectibles mailer. This was not the way it was shipped because I ordered a few other figures with that, so it was actually shipped in a much larger box. And fairly protected. You know, I ordered a few figures in figure defender cases. Everything else was fine. But when I ordered this guy here, and you can see the box is, pretty much completely fine. Like, there's nothing here banged up on any side of it at all. But when I got it, despite having a cardboard thing on top, despite having spacers, which you can see here were part of it, don't need those anymore. Pretty much all the figures came really banged up, really dented up here. So I decided no point keeping these things mint on card because they're not mint. So my misfortune, it's your lucky day. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at all of the figures from AEW Series 3, my first complete wave. And yeah, we'll take a look and see if these figures are actually worth me continuing to buy in the future. So I've got Matt Jackson right here. I've got Orange Cassidy over here. Here's my Darby Allin. He's especially banged up. Here's my Riho. Here's my Nick Jackson, also really messed up here. I mean, look out. It's like a dog chewed on this, and then another dog chewed on the dog that was chewing on it, and they both just got really angry and just started stomping on all the toys. And finally, my PAC figure. This one's, I was going to say it's not as bad, then I looked at it more and I realized it's actually probably worse. So this is it. This is Series 3 from Wicked Cool Toys. And yeah, again, the fact that the packaging is so messed up here, that kind of sucks. I don't know who's to blame here because this was sealed. It was actually a sealed box when I got it. This was a literal sealed case inside another box. They didn't mail it this way. And when I got Wave 2 from AEW, again, also from Ringside, it was sent in this box here with mailing labels on it. So somehow those figures came mint on card. I don't know what happened to this wave, and I don't know if anybody else had this problem here. So if you guys did, let me know. I did, in fact, actually see a few collectors who got this and had similar issues. So I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, anybody out there who did get Series 3 and has similarly messed up figures, please let me know, because I want to know what's going on with that. So as for the boxes, one of the things I was worried about when Wicked Cool Toys first showed these off at Toy Fair 2020 was that this is from Jeremy Padower. He did the Jax line, and those Jax figures, their boxes were pretty enormous, very bulbous, very large. Luckily, the AEW figures are essentially packaged in the same size box as a Mattel figure. So if you took a Mattel Elite, put it back to back with these guys, they're going to basically size up. And that works out really well for mint on card collectors too, because folks who have tried to buy these toys on Ringside Collectibles also know that the figure defender cases tend to sell out very quickly. They have to constantly restock these in. It's a gambit when they're going to even come in. But as it turns out, I believe you can use the 2018 figure defender for the Elites, as well as the Defined Moments packages, and those should both fit these figures just nicely. And I do have proof of that because I used it with a Cody figure that I got previously as well from someone else, a private collector. So I know that those do work, so there are alternatives. They're not as form-fitting, of course, but hey, what are you going to do? But on that topic, I do like the engineering of these packages here. It's not just a flat square. It's not just what Mattel's doing these days with like a random rectangle, then, oh, here's a diagonal cut. No, there's actually some really neat design elements to it. I love the gold trim as well. I think the packages are very nice. And I also do like the back of the boxes here too, which run down who else is in the line. We get a nice picture of the characters, a few stats. Nothing real crazy, but it works. And another thing I really like about these figures that Mattel does not do is they're numbering their figures. So like, for example, here my Darby Allin is number 22 in the series. So I like that. I like if you're a completionist and you want to collect these things library style, you've got a number to know how to line them up. It's a fun little thing. If I had one nitpick about the packaging whatsoever, it would have been that on the back of the box when they have the photos of the wrestlers, I kind of wish there was a little bit more to it, a little bit more color, I should say, because for the most part, it's just basically a photo from them in the ring, and it's a very dark photo. The gold helps pop it a little bit more, but I wouldn't mind it something else, something a little bit more bright to help pick it up, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. because some other things are apparently in the future for the AEW figures, and well, that's going to probably mean some different style of packaging too. But that's enough about these boxes, because you're not here to see me ramble on about dented boxes. So I'm going to go ahead and take these figures out of the package, and let's take a closer look at them from all angles. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at our AEW Wave 3 figures. Let's start with what I think are actually, and this might surprise you guys, the weakest figures in this wave. And that's Matt and Nick Jackson. So the number one thing that jumps out to me is in fact Matt Jackson, because he looks, I don't know, it's like he's stoned out of his mind maybe or something. This does not look like him. I think the head sculpt is there for the most part, but the paint job just does not work for me. Like, his eyes have these giant bags under them. They're really bloodshot. The beard doesn't quite look right either. It does not look like him at all. It just looks, yeah, this is a fail head for me. Sorry, this is actually the worst head, and we'll discuss the other heads I think people are complaining about the most later, but I think this one here is the worst of the bunch. That's unfortunate, because Nick looks really good. I mean, his hair might be a little bit lighter than it should be, but I think otherwise he looks fine. But that Matt Jackson head, yeah, huge disappointment. And this is coming from somebody who missed Wave 1, so I didn't get those initial versions of these guys here. And yeah, this one here, I mean, if they're using the same head, which I don't think they are, yikes. That was my combination of yuck and yikes at the same time. It wasn't intentional, but it just kind of turned out that way in my mouth. So another thing of interest here is you guys are seeing they're in their entrance gear. They got these jackets on. Do these jackets come off? The answer is no. I mean, maybe yes, but not really. As you guys can see here, there is nothing to actually open these jackets. This is a solid piece of plastic. So if you want to take that jacket off, I think that means you've got to take out their arms and pop off their head and then slide it up that way. So that's the only way to get these guys out of those outfits. Is that bad? Is that good? I don't know. It's different. I'll say that much. It's very different to see a figure done like this, because normally, you know, if we got this from Mattel, there'd be like a clasp on the front and we just pop it open and that'd be done. Whatever, no big deal. In this case, they're doing something different. It's a nice thing because it does keep the costumes basically looking the same. An issue I've had with Mattel when they do these types of costumes where the clasps pop in and out is that the clasps don't always clasp back together. So in this case here, you know, as long as you can get the arms out and the head out safely, I think it's not a big deal, and it maintains the integrity of the suit, maintains the integrity of the costume and how it should look. So, you know, I don't actually know if it's a positive or a negative. It's just something I'm going to note, and I'll see how it turns out. It's something for you guys at home to note as well. And if you're wondering about these tassels here, these do not come off. It looks like, let's see, do they come off? It's moving. Okay, no, they do not come off. Looks like they can hit a certain point, and that's it. So yeah, I think these are actually glued onto their feet, which makes sense because that's how their costumes are. I mean, that's part of how they're doing it. That's how they have their tassel in their boots. So yeah, I was curious if they actually were going to be removable or not, but they're not, so that's fine. You know what, before I actually go further, I'm going to go ahead and test this theory here. I'm going to try and see if I can pop his head off, and I'm going to see, because I know the heads do come off. Let's see if that is the way to get these toys out of this outfit here. So pray for me, I'm about to pop an arm. I'd like to pop an arm, but I am so scared to do it, actually. Looking at this bicep joint here. You know what? Yeah, on second thought, I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to say, yeah, if you want to try it at home, well, let me know how it turns out. I've lost my nerve because I'm so afraid of breaking a bicep and not being able to get a replacement figure. So that's definitely something worth noting about. And also to add on to this fact here, this is already, we're in Wave 3. This is the first repaint we're getting in the normal wave. Now, at this point, we've already gotten 2 versions of Cody and 2 versions of Dustin, and now we're up to version number 2 of Matt and Nick Jackson. So I guess if you missed them out the first time, that's fine. I think a lot of folks were complaining about the fact that we're this early onto the wave and we're already getting repaints. It makes sense because these guys are like the stars of the company. You're going to always want to have those in your line. You're going to always want to have your John Cena's and your Seth Rollins. But I was surprised to see them this early on too. So, you know, it's a mixed bag for sure. You got to understand though, from a toy selling point, you have to have the He-Man. You got to have the Skeletor at all times. You can't just keep popping out the random obscure characters that don't move product. And again, we're only at Wave 3, so I think as time goes on, we're going to start seeing repaints of Matt Hardy, repaints of Orange Cassidy, repaints of Jericho, repaints of the other guys as well. More guys who aren't just Cody, more guys who aren't just the Elite. But again, at this point, we're still really, really early onto the line, so I will just say, be a little patient. But yeah, I mean, this version, is it better or worse than the first ones? I couldn't tell you because I don't have them. I'm happy to at least have these guys here. The only thing that bugs me is these jackets. So, you know, kind of mixed bag. I'm going to say these are the weakest of the lot. And so on that note, let me move on to what folks were saying that they thought was in fact the weakest, and that is this figure of PAC. So the biggest thing that people were complaining about with PAC was the likeness, and that people said it didn't look like him. And I agreed with them. I think when I first saw the proto photos especially, I didn't think it looked that much like him. Now that I've got it in hand, it's closer. It's definitely closer than I thought it was going to look. I mean, I will say in terms of accessories, he comes with his spare head here, and he also comes with a steel chair we'll look at in a second. But in terms of like the likenesses on these guys, you know, I think the head that's actually on him right now is not the worst. It's not the worst head out there. I think a lot of folks think that he looks a little bit different in real life because he's always pointing his chin down. And, when you're an actor, you should really actually point your chin up because it helps kind of, make your face look better. But for the most part, when Neville does his promos, his face is always down. It doesn't help that he's also kind of short, so he's going to always be kind of looking down unless you're shooting him from a different angle. So I think that's where a lot of the confusion comes in from. Now, I don't think this is a stellar head sculpt, but I think it's better than people are saying it is. And I kind of wonder, let's see, it's hard to tell, unfortunately, because the thing about it, he has like weird hair as well, where it's like bald on the sides and all just on top. So you can't really see that as well on this head, and you can see it not at all on this head. I think that's also one of the things that's a little bit of a detractor, is that, that's kind of his iconic hair, and you don't really get that with this figure. But I don't really know how you'd accomplish that easily either with this type of toy. I'm definitely open for suggestions if anybody has any ideas of, what you might think would be a good way to make his hair look better. But here you guys go. That's the two heads side by side. I mean, I think from the profile it's decent as well. Not the best, not the worst. That's kind of the best compliment I can give it. I still would take this over that Jackson head any day, though. Yikes. PAC also comes with a steel chair, as I mentioned, and here is the chair. So this is the first chair that we've gotten from the AEW figures. And let's see if this actually fits in his hands, because that's, of course, the number one most important thing here. And yes, all right, fits in the hands. Yeah, that's decent enough. I'm happy with that. That works for me. And the chair does fold and open up, so you could have PAC have a nice little sit down, get himself some tea. There you go. So not the worst figure in the bunch. I still stand by that. And I think the other details are nice too. Like I think the fact that they got his armbands painted on there is good. I like his pads. I like his kick pads, it is. I like his knee pads. I think this is fine. I think this is an okay figure. Not as bad as it's being made out to be. Not the worst one in the line by far. But there's definitely room for improvement in PAC. So I look forward to seeing when we get a second release of him at some point, which I don't think will happen for a while. But I look forward to getting a second release of him and seeing if we can get something a little bit different. Because maybe, in a few months from now, I'll eat my words and say, yeah, either this one was better or this one was worse. We'll see. Next up, let's take a look at the first female in this wave, or the only female in this wave. Not the first female in the entire series. That went to Brandy. She was the first female in AEW in terms of toys, but Riho is our first women's champion, and she also comes with a few different accessories too. Riho comes with 4 different additional hands here. I'm going to just pop those down there next to her. And most importantly, she comes with the AEW Women's Championship, which is so tiny, so small, but really nice detail as well. You can see there's some gold paint on the leather strap. And here's how the clasp system works. I think their belts are really nice. That's the one thing I'm really enjoying so far about these AEW figures, is they have excellent detail on those belts. Now, I know a lot of folks were also complaining about Riho's likeness. And yeah, this one is not the greatest either. I think what kind of hurts this figure also is the hair color. I think her hair needs to be darker. It needs to have some different tones in it. That part, I think, absolutely is a detractor. The head sculpt, from front on, it's not the greatest. I think the problem more than anything is the mouth. I think it's the mouth and how the teeth are painted almost like individually, so that really makes them more pronounced than they should be. Because I think from the side, I think it's actually her. I think this is a really good profile. But when you look at it head on, because of the mouth and because of the paint job with the eyebrows and how light it looks, she looks like Mayim Bialik dressed up as an AEW wrestler. So that's where my stance is on the face. I think there's definitely room for improvement in this one. The outfit's really cool. I think one thing I was a little curious about, though, was going to be her body, how it looked, because I don't have Brandy, but this looks to me like it's just Brandy's body, and it shouldn't be. Like, Riho is known for being extremely small and tiny, and, well, for a point of comparison, I don't have Brandy, but I do have Peyton Royce from the Iconics here, and they're basically the same height, same size, same width, and that shouldn't be. Riho needs to be tinier. She needs to have her own body. At that point as well, a little bit of a detraction, and something that worries me, because I don't want to just see them recycling the same women's body again and again for different women. Especially because they have so many who have different body types. Now, obviously, they can't use this body here for Nyla Rose. That would be a terrible, terrible idea. But, I hope there's going to be a little bit more diversity in the females in particular, because they need to. I mean, you can't make Layla Hirsch with this body. You can't make Abaddon with this body. So I hope that they do show us some other things with the lady figures. So let's move on from Riho to another figure that I think was very controversial when photos were first shown of it, and one that I think has gotten a very unfair rap, and that's Orange Cassidy. Because in my opinion, he might be the best. We'll see in a minute. He might be the best of this wave. So one of the things that folks were talking about a lot was his likeness. Did it look like him? Well, getting him in person, let's take off the glasses in fact to confirm this. Getting him in person, yeah, you guys, this is absolutely Orange Cassidy's face. There's no way to beat around that. That's totally his face. They nailed that one. That's an amazing likeness and also an excellent paint job too. So all the naysayers out there, I think this proves you wrong. This is an excellent Orange Cassidy head. Great face, great detail, good paint job. This is Perfect. This is perfect. And just so you guys know, Orange, you can see, already came with the sunglasses. He also comes with an additional 3 hands here. So the thing that I want to learn about most here is about this outfit, because, I think this is one of the coolest things ever that they've done here. And this was, again, another point of controversy, because when Jeremy first showed off this on his social media, there's a photo of this figure here, and the forearm was cracked. And people were saying, oh, it's going to stress out the joint, it's going to break it. That was an early proto. Maybe it was stressed too much. I don't know. But you guys can see here, it's fine. I haven't seen anybody else in any of the Facebook groups I'm in with wrestling toys show off Orange Cassidy with a broken joint still. So if anybody out there has one that got it in package and it came like this, show me proof on social media. I'll gladly change my position on it. But, I think there was a lot of concern over it, and rightful concern. But I think this was also proved wrong, and it seems to be working just fine here. And I love the fact that his pants are this kind of like rubberized, softer material, and here's what it looks like. And yeah, both sides. So because you do have 2 pairs of straight hands here, you can do it on both sides. I love this. This is such a cool idea. And it reminds me, in fact, of a Toy Biz Kurt Angle figure that was supposed to come out back in the TNA days, which sadly did not get made. That was the very last wave of TNA figures that was supposed to come out. And goodbye, Orange Cassidy. It was supposed to come out, and the thing about that toy was it was going to have removable straps that Kurt Angle could have his singlet straps come down, show his chest off. It was an amazing idea, amazing concept, and it never happened. And no figure, as far as I know, has done it to this day. So Orange Cassidy is the first one to implement that kind of rubberized, softer system in a wrestling toy, and I think it's great. Another thing I'm curious about here, let's take a look at this shirt. So this is a surprise too. I was wondering about this jacket. Will this jacket come off? Is this a separate shirt? Is it 2 different soft goods materials? Turns out it's actually one jacket. This is a one piece on him. So yeah, I don't know how you will get this one off easily, because there's no Velcro here. Let's see, is that Velcro? Oh, no. Oh, okay. You know what? Shut my mouth. I am wrong. Oh, I think they figured out a really good system here. I just made a discovery that is amazing. So, okay, if this does come off, that is a smart way to do that. I'm going to actually pop off his hands, make this a little bit easier. So I think that's how you should do it whenever you take these kinds of things on and off. Wow, I was not expecting that. I was worried about how they were going to do this. I was worried the hand would be on it permanently. Let's go ahead and do this hand too. So this is how it is. It's actually like a little smock piece almost. You unlatch that, and the jacket slides right off. And there is your Orange Cassidy figure. That is smart. And by the way, when I opened Orange Cassidy, he actually had a little bit of plastic on his face too, protecting him from the sunglasses. So that's nice too, a little bit of collector-friendly packaging in there. I'm going to get both of these hands in there. I want to see if I can get both hands in the pockets. You guys can see the articulation there. It's moving really smoothly. I haven't even discussed articulation in any of these figures yet. I feel like I don't really need to, but just for the sake of this while I do this now, these things are comparable to Ultimate Edition figures. The only thing I think that's missing from them is a toe joint. Otherwise, this is very close, if not on level, with those Ultimate Edition Mattel figures. And what I mean by the toe joint is there's usually like a little toe joint down there. But we don't seem to have that here in this toy. But everything else is there. Likeness, this is, oh man. I'm going to go ahead and put the sunglasses back on him here. Yeah, you're trying to tell me that this is not Orange Cassidy. They got that one perfect. And yeah, like I don't see any way you could actually break these forearms now that I've done it on both hands. No, like that's fine. You can see it. It's perfect. No arguments here. And yeah, I love the look of the pants. I love the shoes especially too. This is a really good one. This is a really tough one to beat. And it might be the best in the show, but we still have one other to take a look at, and that's Darby Allin. So I'm going to move all this stuff off to the side. So Darby Allin, another one that I think is arguably probably one of the best ones in the wave here. And Darby, I think he got 2 variants. I think he was the only chase in this one. He got a 1 of 500 and a 1 of 1000, which would have included different, I think, jacket and paint, and also different skateboards. So I've got the normal one here. This is the skateboard he comes with. And a lot of folks are wondering, if it's like a tech deck skateboard or how it is packaged, what it's like. No, it's actually a smooth all around. But still a really cool accessory. And I think Darby fits on it. So you do get a working skateboard. Not as fancy as a tech deck, but you know what? That's fine for me. This absolutely serves the purpose it should serve. Let's get that out of the way there. So Darby, again, really great likeness. This is another superb likeness from this AEW series. Looks like good paint work. This is a rubber jacket. Nice looking detail on this as well. Let us see how this comes off. I think this looks, oh, okay, by the way, again, there's some of that plastic film there to help keep his stuff intact, help keep from paint rubbing off of it. But yeah, let's go ahead, let's see how this works in terms of getting this jacket off. It's always really stiff the first time. I've noticed with Mattel figures, it's not that, wow, it's actually not that rough at all. I've always struggled with Mattel figures, and you guys can watch my older Mattel videos to see that. Io Shirai jumps to mind, in fact, as I'm doing this figure here. I had a lot of trouble with her jacket the first time around, other characters. This, as you can see, is sliding right off, no problems. Didn't have to heat the toy or anything. Keep in mind, I'm in New York City. It's in the high 20s today, high 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's really cold, and that's going to probably hurt this kind of thing, you would think. But no, this is fine. Here's how this guy looks. Body is correct. Tattoos are nice. Again, excellent paint job. Unhindered articulation. There's actually a little bit of schmutz, some red on the top of his head there. Not a big deal for me, though. But yeah, great job on the face paint. Good likeness. Very good likeness. I don't know who's better. I actually cannot tell between Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin who's the better figure of these two. But these are my top two best of the wave, that's for sure. So let's talk overall thoughts on Wave 3. I'm just going to bring a bunch of the characters in here again. So I think if I'm going to rank them, you know, I want to put Darby Allin first. Orange Cassidy's really close, but they're my top two for sure. I'm going to put number 3 as PAC. I'd put Riho as 4. I'd put Matt and Nick Jackson as 5 and 6 because I don't think they're very good figures, unfortunately. I hate to say it, they don't look good. And you guys heard my concerns about Riho and other female figures. This is going to be the kind of thing we have to wait and see, I guess. I'm optimistic they'll be able to do a better job on future females, but again, we got to get more to find out. I think there's some really good likeness work. I think paint is still a shortcoming for some of the faces, but they're getting better. I'm liking what they're doing with the entrance gear, with the jackets. Again, with Matt and Nick Jackson, still kind of on the fence about those two figures because of how their things operate. So if you're able to actually pop those shoulders off and get that outfit off, do let me know in the comments because that would definitely help make me feel a little bit better about these two guys. But again, that one head just kind of kills it for me. Otherwise, Darby, Orange Cassidy, those two are your money figures. Those are the best ones in here and the ones I recommend. And get Riho so you get your women's title. PAC, I would probably say wait for now because there's going to probably be another PAC down the line. Hopefully they'll have a better looking head. And same thing with Matt and Nick Jackson. Those two I'd say completely stay away from if you're going to get this wave. Try and get either the first ones or just wait till they eventually do something else, whether it be a 2-pack or something. I don't know, but there's going to be more Matt and Nick Jacksons. This is probably the two to avoid. Now my big question here after this video is done now, looking at all these figures, is will I keep collecting AEW figures? Because this is my first wave essentially that I've completed. Do I want to keep these guys? You know, yes, the answer is yes, I'm going to keep going. I will probably start cherry picking fairly soon, though, especially because we're going to get so many repaints, and I don't want repaint city. You know, it's something I know a lot of folks are worried about, and it's a fair point. It's a very valid point. Nobody wants to get repaints this early on into a series, but, you know, it's kind of just the way things are. Keep in mind, Wicked Cool Toys is run by Jeremy Padower. He ran Jax for many years and produced some great wrestling figures. And he also knows how to work within cost and budget issues. So, you know, I kind of wonder how much money is being put into these AEW figures right now. I hope that there's a lot, because there's a lot they can do here. There's a lot of great potential, and I want to see that potential realized with these series. So I'm going to keep buying AEW figures. I'm happy with what I got here today overall. Not the best lot, though. I mean, I could see myself easily eventually one day selling the Matt and Nick Jacksons here. You know, it's not perfect. As a wave, I would give this like a 6 out of 10. But I would give Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy a definite high grade. Those two are the standouts of the series. The rest of them, not so much. But don't you guys worry, there will be more AEW figure reviews coming here. As long as I can keep getting them from Ringside Collectibles or whoever I'm going to get them, I will keep getting them. I'm going to keep reviewing them. It's just, you know, I hate the struggle. And I hope that in 2021, Wicked Cool Toys gets their stuff together and is able to produce these things and distribute them much more efficiently and get them out way better. Because there's clearly a high demand for them. There's a lot of good with these toys. Still some kinks that need to be worked out. But overall, I'm on board, and I'm happy to get some more soon. So until next time, I'm Matthew. This has been Nerd News Today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time at more wrestling figure reviews coming very soon.